Oh, Vekic tried to play a little defense there.
We are looking at the red clay of the Patrice Dominguez court at the Strasbourg International, and for the casual observer glancing at the W-Day schedule, this first-round matchup may appear to be nothing more than a routine tune-up before the spotlight shifts to Roland Garros. But once you strip away the surface-level narratives and analyze the contest through the lens of tactical geometry and biomechanics, this becomes one of the most fascinating stylistic clashes of the entire European clay court swing. Modern tennis analysis often revolves around baseline warfare, two elite athletes exchanging heavy ground strokes at brutal pace until one player's defense finally collapses under the pressure. This, however, is not a mirror matchup. What we are witnessing instead is a pure clash of opposing philosophies, the kind of stylistic confrontation that always captivates purists of combat sports and high-level tennis alike. On one side stands the aggressive, high-volume striker looking to dictate play through relentless pace and pressure. On the other is the unorthodox counterpuncher, a player built to frustrate rhythm, extend rallies, and drag opponents into uncomfortable territory through variation, patience, and disruption. It is the timeless tactical puzzle, overwhelming force meeting stubborn resistance on one of the most physically and mentally demanding surfaces in the sport. The striker wants to dictate the pace, staying in an optimal, comfortable range where they can unleash clean, powerful combinations and finish points on their own terms. The grappler, on the other hand, wants to do the opposite. Close the distance, disrupt rhythm, neutralize raw power, and drag the match into a grueling, ugly, suffocating grind. That exact asymmetrical battle is what's unfolding on the red dirt today. Eala is the high-volume striker, an attacking engine built on rhythm, timing, and controlled aggression, while Oleksandra Oliynykova is the scrappy counterpuncher whose goal is to pull the young star into the deepest and most uncomfortable waters of a clay court war. Before breaking down the tactical X's and O's of how this match will be decided, it's important to understand the scale of what is at stake. Beyond the on-court chess match, the economic and career implications are significant. In professional tennis, there are clear inflection points in a player's trajectory, and breaking into the top 40 of the WTA rankings is one of the most important. It transforms a player's entire competitive landscape, securing direct entry into WTA 1000 events and Grand Slams, and eliminating the exhausting and unpredictable grind of qualifying rounds. They preserve both their physical and mental energy for deeper runs in tournaments, while also gaining the financial leverage to invest in full-time physiotherapists, dedicated hitting partners, and sports psychologists. Eala is now standing on the absolute threshold of that tier. A strong run at a WTA 500 event like Strasbourg does not just bring ranking points. It secures a future, increases prize money, and builds a crucial wave of momentum heading into Roland Garros. To understand how this match might unfold, we also have to examine the developmental momentum Eala brings into France. She arrives after a highly productive and encouraging run at the Italian Open in Rome, where she recorded solid, methodical wins over Magdalena Frech and Wang Xinyu before stepping into the arena against reigning two-time Grand Slam champion Elena Rybakina. Although Eala ultimately fell in straight sets to Rybakina, that match tape has become a valuable learning resource for her coaching team. It highlighted both her current limitations and her rapid progress on clay. Eala is increasingly dangerous on this surface, and it should not come as a surprise. Her developmental foundation was built at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, where she was effectively forged on European red clay. Her movement into the corners has developed significantly, transitioning from hard-court scrambling into a smooth, controlled clay court slide that allows her to decelerate, strike the ball cleanly, and recover her balance in a fraction of a second. At her core, Eala's game is built on rhythm and baseline aggression. As a left-handed player, she naturally carries a geometric advantage against the majority of the tour. Her cross-court forehand consistently targets a right-hander's backhand, one of the most reliable and pressure-inducing patterns in tennis. When she is striking the ball cleanly, she produces heavy topspin, reportedly upwards of 2,800 revolutions per minute on the forehand wing, pushing opponents wide and opening up the court for down-the-line passings or early ball striking inside the baseline. Tactically, this is about controlling space. Like basketball spacing or chessboard control, tennis at this level is a battle over geometry and time. Eala wants to operate right on the baseline, taking the ball early, shrinking the court, and denying her opponent the time needed to reset or redirect the rally. She is an athlete who thrives on pace. If you feed her a firm, flat 75 mph ball, she absorbs that incoming speed into her kinetic chain and redirects it with even greater velocity. She effectively uses an opponent's own power against them. But that is exactly where the danger lies in today's matchup. Her opponent presents a uniquely uncomfortable psychological puzzle. For a player who thrives on pace and redirection, the most difficult opponent is one who refuses to provide any rhythm or pace at all. Ranked 68th in the world, the 25-year-old Ukrainian Oleksandra Oliynykova is not someone who will overpower you with raw speed. Her forehand rarely shows up on highlight reels for pace, but she is one of the tour's most effective disruptors. A specialist in the subtle, uncomfortable side of defensive tennis, she earned her place in the main draw by methodically dismantling Julia Putintseva in the final qualifying round, a player widely known for her stubborn defensive qualities and relentless retrieval skills. For Oliynykova to outgrind a player like Putintseva on clay requires exceptional rally tolerance, discipline, and tactical control that if Eala is a finely tuned engine that operates on rhythm and repetition, Oliynykova is the wrench thrown into that machinery. Her style is highly unorthodox and deliberately asymmetrical. She constantly varies spin, height, and tempo, never allowing the opponent to settle into a predictable exchange. One moment she is absorbing pace with a deep, biting slice that barely clears the net. The next she is sending up a heavy, looping moonball that drops sharply from above and forces uncomfortable contact points on fast surfaces like grass or indoor hard courts. This kind of variation is disruptive but manageable. On European red clay, especially in the heavier, damp conditions often seen in eastern France during spring, it becomes significantly more dangerous. The clay amplifies spin. When Oliynykova hits a moonball, the heavy topspin grips the surface and kicks violently upward, forcing opponents well above their preferred strike zone. When she slices, the ball skids low and dies unpredictably, pulling aggressive players down toward their shoelaces and breaking their posture. The result is a complete denial of rhythm. Every ounce of power Eala produces must come entirely from her own body. Her legs, her hips, her shoulder rotation, and her racket head speed. There is no incoming pace to redirect. That is not a flaw in Oleynykova's game, it is the foundation of it. It is a deliberate physiological and tactical strategy designed to stretch points, drain legs, and accumulate fatigue over the course of a long match. Even more important than the physical burden is the psychological one. This style is engineered to provoke impatience, disrupt timing, and slowly erode decision-making under pressure. It is designed to bait the aggressive young shotmaker into overhitting out of sheer frustration. So the real question is, how does this battle actually unfold between the lines? For Eala to progress, she has to execute a precise, disciplined, and physically demanding tactical blueprint. First and foremost, she must control rally length. Eala needs to keep most exchanges within the 0 to 4 shot range, occasionally extending into 5 to 8 shots, but avoiding anything beyond that. Statistical models consistently show that once Oleksandra Oliynykova drags rallies beyond 9 shots on clay, the probability of an Eala unforced error rises sharply. That is exactly the Ukrainian trap, a game built on statistical inevitability and accumulated pressure. To counter it, Eala's approach must be built on 4 non-negotiable tactical pillars. The first is territorial dominance. She cannot concede baseline real estate. When Oliynykova sends up a heavy, looping moonball, the instinctive reaction is to retreat and wait for the ball to drop into a comfortable strike zone. But if Eala gives ground, she hands Oliynykova time to recover, reset, and recenter the rally. Instead, she must resist that instinct entirely and step into the court. That means taking the ball on the rise, even when it is still climbing, and in extreme cases using a swinging drive volley to take time completely away. The goal is to compress the court, deny Oliynykova breathing room, and turn defense into immediate pressure. Every meter forward shrinks the Ukrainians' defensive options. The second pillar is punishing the short slice. Oliynykova will frequently use low, skidding slices to lure Eala forward into uncomfortable positions. When a player is moving in, momentum makes it difficult to stop, stabilize, and execute clean contact. In those moments, Eala cannot panic or go for reckless pace. Instead, she must lower the racket head, generate heavy topspin, and prioritize depth over flash. The objective is to push Oliynykova back and force her to defend passing shots while on the run. At the net, Eala must treat positioning as a finishing structure, not a highlight zone, using it to close points efficiently rather than force winners. The third pillar is the importance of first strike advantage, ensuring that when she does get neutral balls, she immediately shifts the dynamic of the rally and prevents Oliynykova from settling into her defensive rhythm. This brings us to Eala's left-handed serve, which becomes one of her most important weapons in this matchup. Her slider out wide on the ad court, in particular, can be devastating. Oliynykova tends to stand unusually far back when returning serve, which opens a clear tactical opportunity. A high percentage of Eala's first serves that drag the Ukrainian wide into the doubles alley will immediately stretch the court and disrupt her defensive structure. From there, the classic serve +1 pattern comes into play. The serve pulls Oliynykova off the court, the return floats back short and central, and Eala steps in to drive her forehand into the exposed right side of the court. If she maintains a first serve percentage above roughly 65%, Oleinykova's defensive system begins to break down before the rally can even develop. Those free or semi-free points are crucial, not just for the scoreboard, but for preserving Eala's physical energy for the long baseline exchanges that will inevitably come on Oleinykova's service games. The fourth tactical pillar is the counter to deep defensive positioning, the drop shot. When a defender like Oliynykova camps 12 to 15 feet behind the baseline to absorb heavy topspin, it leaves a large void in the front court. Eala does not need perfect feathered drop shots to exploit this. She only needs enough touch to bring her opponent forward. Once Oliynykova is forced to sprint in, she is taken out of her comfort zone and made to generate offense from awkward positions, something she actively avoids. However, all of this tactical structure only matters if it can survive the psychological reality of the match. Facing a defensive junk ball specialist like Oliynykova is an exhausting mental and emotional test. It is not just about physical endurance, it is about emotional control under constant disruption. Eala has to accept a difficult truth before she even steps onto the clay. Unforced errors are inevitable. She will miss routine balls she normally makes in training. She will frame forehands into the stands. She will miss time approach shots because of dead spin, unpredictable bounce, or uneven clay divots. The real danger in this match is not the first mistake, it is the reaction to it. The real danger here is compounding frustration, what tennis analysts often describe as scoreboard pressure. If Eala builds a beautiful point, stretches Oliynykova side to side, and then misses an easy waist-high put-away off a floating slice, she cannot allow that moment to affect her posture or decision-making. She cannot afford to press harder on the very next point or start overswinging in an attempt to fix the mistake, because the moment her body language shifts, shoulders drop, head turns toward the coaching box, frustration creeps in, Oliynykova will sense it immediately. Defensive specialists thrive on that emotional leakage. They feed off